Good evening, esteemed members, respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, and dear participants. On behalf of the Committee for Members in Practice of ICI, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you for today's insightful webinar on the theme Bridging the Mindset Gap. This initiative reflects Committee for Members in Practice commitment to empowering members with not just technical knowledge but also perspective and wisdom that help us to grow as professionals and as individuals. Today, webinar will explore two vital dimensions. The first is the knowledge, a journey of mastery. Second, finding your purpose, what it means and when to seek it. We are privileged to have with us some of the finest minds to enlighten us and on these themes. So, first of all, I would be, and it is my privilege to invite the chairman of the committee, CA Madhukar Hirgange, for his welcome address. CA Madhukar Hirgange, a visionary leader and a passionate mentor. He has over 37 years of rich experience and has co authored 37 publications, including 12 on GST. He continues to inspire the profession with his mission to build ethical, committed leaders. Let's warmly welcome CA Madhukar Hirgange for his welcome address. We are honored to have his guidance today. Over to you, Chairman, sir.
Thank you, Priyanshu. I should acknowledge first, that I have a wonderful committee. The number of people are less, but they are still delivering. And I like their attitude. You wouldn't have seen even a bit of ire in Priyanshu's, opening remarks or his introduction. And that's what I love about this committee. They are very positive minded. And this is what we are looking for also among our members. So, as Priyanshu said, we are looking at how we can sensitize members on the value of following values, on the value of following good attitudes, right attitudes, and possibly while we are discussing on this, what could be the empowering habits which can make them successful. Today, I was watching a particular YouTube video called The Business of Life by Arthur Brooks. Now, this gentleman is a teacher at the Harvard Business School, and his subject is Science of Happiness. 20 years back, I don't think any of us ever heard of this or went through this. Times are changing, and therefore we need to change. Chartered accountants who think that I have got the knowledge will find that skill became very important. Then they got some skills. Then they found out that essential skills are not enough. Good to have skills also should be there. But life is moving rapidly. Not only that, other than skills which include, your IT skills, AI skills, communication skills, now the way in which you think itself is making a difference. What type of person you are. And that is why we met people like Nilesh ji and Abhijit ji and asked them, what is that one or two things which made them very successful? And they come and share their experience and their knowledge on that particular subject. And all these videos are going to be put up on the ICI TV, and all of you can also watch the past episodes, which are wonderful. Some of them are fantastic, I would say. I myself have watched, something again because it was so interesting. So over to Priyanshu. Oh yes, before that I should tell you, I've since I'm the chairman of the CMP, I sometimes forget. We have got a number of courses which you should look at and tell your branch to hold. One is the Practice Ki Pathshala, which is a 4-day course for people who feel what is happening in life. I feel stuck, I feel stagnant. All these people can possibly go there. It gives a fresh whiff of air about many of the new things which are happening in the industry. What are the opportunities? It also touches a bit on the AI part. And I have found that this is a very useful program, and it is a non-residential facility also is there. So this can be done. There is one more for freshers called Pathway to Practice, which also can be something which people can go in for. GST has been a wonderful area. I remember in my last stint, 2017 to 2019, more than 100,000 chartered accountants in industry and practice learned GST to a very great degree, and many of them did exceedingly well in their practice and jobs. Now, GST is becoming slowly less, I would say, complicated. Government's idea is to make the portal, really good and remove all the glitches. It may take some time. However, the writing is on the wall that compliance is no longer going to be available as a way of life for everybody. People have to go for either consulting, high-level consulting, or they'll have to go for litigation. So we've got a 6-day litigation course, which is available for the branches. They can go, two into 3 or 3 into 2, whichever way they want. Other than this, in the coming month, Priyanshu and Alok are going to come up with 3 other programs. One-stop shop, that means MSME and for the real estate, separate. We are making up material, and we are also seeing whether we can have this as a trading program. That means if a client from the real estate comes to me after I've gone through this program, I can give him advice in all areas. I need not be expert in all areas. I will network with in areas where I don't have knowledge, but we will give knowledge in RERA, in contracts, drafting, GST and income tax. Normally the chartered accountant would have. Similarly, for the MSME, one-stop shop, so that we provide the problem solving, solution to that industry, and our chartered accountants will have a better income, a better focus, and those are also 2 things. Other than this, we are also starting an English language program, written English language program, because we find that many of us are not really ready for global consultancy. We may be ready for giving consultancy in Hindi, but not in English. So there are 2 programs which are there. Written English, spoken English. There is a British Council program which is already available, 90-day program from the institute. And for this written English, especially for global consultancy, we are starting a course which will also start by the next month, maybe middle of this month itself. So thank you for the opportunity, Priyanshu. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for your insights. Now we have our first distinguished speaker, CA Nilesh Modi ji, who will speak on the topic Knowledge, a Journey of Mastery. He is based in Mumbai. CA Modi is a rare blend of academic excellence and professional expertise. Academically, he holds multiple qualifications. He's a chartered accountant, company secretary, and a lawyer, LLB, and has a deep interest in economics, business, and law. Since 1997, he has specialized in Indian tax and regulatory laws. He is also an author of a highly acclaimed treatise, The Law and Practice of Tax Treatise, an Indian perspective published by Walter Cloovers, with multiple editions to his credit. His intellectual rigor combined with decades of practical experience, makes him an authority in his domain. Today, he will guide us through the inspiring theme of how knowledge, when pursued with discipline and passion, it evolves into truly mastery. We are Please join me in welcoming CA Nilesh Modi ji. Nilesh Modi ji, you may take the session, sir.
Are you able to view my screen?
Sure. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Okay. Thank you for the kind introduction. I am very thankful to Madhukar sir, Sanjeev Chaudhary sir for giving me this opportunity. In fact, I strongly feel that if there is one chartered accountant who is deserves of giving this presentation, it should be Madhukar sir. The amount of knowledge that he has spread through multiple forums is unparalleled. But nonetheless, he has asked me to take up this presentation, so I'll do so. I'm also thankful to Sri Alok Jha for giving me enriching insights to my presentation. What I'm going to speak to you over next 45 minutes is something which I truly believe in, something which I tell myself every day. I may be unsuccessful in practicing it. I'm certainly not as accomplished as what was told to you during the introduction. Every morning when I get up, I feel a deep sense of hunger inside me that I have a long road to travel. Yet, what I shall do is I shall share with you my personal beliefs. So, let me start with a story. There was once a young student. He went to his guru. The student told the guru, Guruji, I want to know everything in this world. A very unique ask. The guru smiled. The guru requested the student to come with him to a river. And as soon as they were at the bank of the river, the guru caught the head of the student and put the head inside the water. The student obviously was shocked. He didn't know what had hit him. After some time remaining underwater, the student started gasping for breath. The guru pulled him out. And the student questioned the guru, why do you do this? So the guru responded, well, the day you are hungry for knowledge, just the way you are gasping for breath, that is the day when you will start the journey of acquiring all the knowledge in the world. In other words, what is required is a deep hunger to learn. I personally feel that all the chartered accountants have a deep hunger to learn, to grow, to evolve. In fact, we are blessed to be members of ICI. I don't think there is any other body, professional or industry, which has done as much to spread knowledge as what the ICI has done. We are all blessed to be members of ICI. So with this, I go to the next slide. I'm having some trouble with this slide, so please bear with me. Are you able to see the next slide?
Yes, we can see your slide, sir.
Okay. So let's start with the 4 types of knowledge. The first type is known knowns. This includes things that we already know. So assuming I am a GST practitioner, I already know the ins and out of GST compliances. Next category is known unknowns. So taking the same example of GST practitioner, recently GST tribunal rules have been notified. The tribunal will soon start functioning. As a GST practitioner, I haven't read the GST tribunal rules, but I know that the rules have been notified, just that I have to read it. Most of us, we have the first two types of knowledge. Then comes the third category, unknown knowns. These are things we know, but we don't realize that we know it. It is about Hanuman, who didn't know the kind of knowledge and power that he had till he was made to realize it by Javan. So in category 3, it is all about realizing our potential, knowing our power that resides within us. This is again what I believe that all chartered accountants have in abundance. They have immense ability and potential which needs to be tapped. Coming now to the fourth category, unknown unknowns. These are things that we didn't even know that we don't know. Let me give you one example. I was hearing one of the lectures in this series by our past president, Shri Amarjit Chopra. He gave a very good example about the implications that US tariffs may have in India in terms of accounting. There may also be transfer pricing implications. We all know that there certainly would be implications in terms of increased import duty in the US. But what about implications in India in terms of accounting, transfer pricing, etc.? This is something which at least I came to know when I heard the lecture of Shri Amarjit Chopra. This is the category where we have to reach. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. So, what do clients expect from us? Client expect us to be knowledge of a subject matter expert. So clients expect if I am a GST practitioner, I should be knowing my subject. But that is not enough. The clients, they believe CA is God. CA should know everything. So it is important for us to have knowledge of politics, to have knowledge of law. And when I say knowledge, it doesn't mean expert knowledge, but at least working knowledge. We are required to expect, we are expected by clients and the society at large to also have knowledge of how business works. What are the principles of economics? About society, art, culture. Again, it is not necessary that our knowledge should be confined only to India. It's becoming more and more imperative that we are supposed to have knowledge of what is going on in the rest of the world. I know certain chartered accountants who religiously spend at least 30 minutes looking at international news every day, whether it would be BBC, whether it would be CNN, but they want to keep track of what is happening internationally. Certain chartered accountants I know, they read the Economist magazine to know what is happening globally in terms of economy. Why knowledge is so important? In my view, knowledge helps to build brand. In fact, many of us believe that why we are not allowed to do marketing. In fact, we are allowed to do marketing because in marketing, K stands for knowledge. Once we have knowledge, it will be self-marketing. Take, for example, Madhukar sir. He is very well known all over India for his mastery on indirect tax laws. He doesn't need to go out and blow his own trumpet. Clients speak about him. He is a brand unto himself. So there can't be a better marketing than having your own brand, which pulls in clients. Again, knowledge enhances self-worth. There is nothing more empowering than knowledge. Clients, in my view, clients place unbridled trust on chartered accountants that are knowledgeable. It is as if the client can deposit his own life with the chartered accountant, and he knows that the life will be secure. I have found that regulators and judiciary, they respect knowledge and credibility. It may happen that the regulators or the judiciary may not agree with us when we are representing for a client, but that may be a genuine difference of opinion in terms of legal interpretation. But just because they may not agree with us on our position, that doesn't mean that they don't respect knowledge. Lastly, knowledge will definitely lead to monetization. There is no doubt about it because clients will pay for it. Clients will not pay for half-baked knowledge. Clients will not pay for information that is available in plenty. Clients will pay for cutting-edge knowledge. So what is the journey to mastery? This is called as a 10 hours, 100 hours, 1,000 hours, and 10,000 hours principle. So somebody who is curious, it's enough to spend 10 hours and gain curiosity. So assuming I don't practice GST, I may read some material, not more than 10 hours, and obviously it will make me curious. But in case I want to participate in a GST seminar and I want to understand what is going on, then it is necessary for me to invest at least 100 hours to be able to do so. Most of us, including me, we have reached this level of 100 hours. But in case we want to become a speaker amongst an audience which really matters, then it is essential for us to devote at least 1,000 hours for that subject. Without that, we won't be appreciated by the audience. And somebody who is a scholar, who is a master, he has to invest minimum 10,000 hours. This is a scientifically proved principle. And this requires time and patience. We will, in the next slides, we will see as to what we could do to gain mastery. I often believe that it is never too late to make a start. Take, for instance, Valmiki. He was a thief. But then, when he turned around, he wrote the Ramayana. He is a great example that it's never too late to make a start. All of us, if we make a start today, we have enough and more potential to become a scholar or a master in our chosen field. We have that ability in us. I mentioned that it requires patience and time. It's not easy to spend 10,000 hours to become a master in a subject. Take, for instance, Chinese bamboos. Chinese bamboos don't grow for first 5 years. For the first 5 years, they spread their tentacles underground. They strengthen their roots. It is only in the 6th year that the bamboo shoots up to 90 feet. And that is what 10,000 hours mean. It will be tough initially, but then the fruits are extremely sweet. To gain mastery, it is imperative for us to specialize. Without specialization, we cannot achieve mastery. Extreme focus is required, like Arjun. It is important for us to pick an area and go deep. For instance, we can't have a situation where we have an actor who is doing direction, who is doing production, who is doing distribution. We have seen what happened to Amitabh Bachchan. He tried to do everything. He was a terrible failure. He then decided that his forte lies only in acting. And then the results are there to see. So focus is most important. In fact, what is also required of focusing is to decide what we are not going to do. It is very lucrative for a chartered accountant to get to capitalize on the opportunities that are coming to the desk. It may be audit, it may be tax, it could be business consulting. But then is it helping us in the long run? It is important for us to decide which area are we going to focus on and which area are we going to leave out. And we'll come to it in a moment as to how we can go about it. So most important, we have to free up ourselves. That's the only way we will achieve specialization. We have to learn to delegate more and more. Even Modi, that is our Prime Minister, has a big cabinet. He is a man of exceptional talent. But still, if he has to be successful, he has to delegate to his cabinet. We have to trust our people. If we delegate, we have to trust. It's okay if some of our team members walk away with the clients. But then, at least, we are freeing up our time. That's most important. And if we trust our people, then it's more likely than not they're going to stay with us. So we have to let go of the insecurity. Delegate more and more. Use AI or technology to handle mundane tasks. Again, very important. More we collaborate, the better. So assuming if I am practicing in GST, but if I am getting an intern audit opportunity, then instead of taking it myself, I can have collaboration with a CF firm. That can be kind of co-referral of work. Better still, why can't we have multidisciplinary firms wherein there are partners who are specializing in a particular area? What is again equally important is how do we go about the process of achieving mastery? It is scientifically proven that people remember only 10% of what they read. People remember 20% of what they hear. We remember 30% of what we see. And the percentage increases if we write and if we do. So the process of achieving mastery is to first start reading, attend seminars, see YouTube videos in the subject matter of specialization. That is how we read, hear, see. Start writing articles in CA Journal. In fact, our CA Institute is inviting writers to provide articles on their area of specialization. The great opportunity that we all should capitalize on. Again, ICI is inviting speakers also for the webinars. We can offer ourselves to speak, and that is how we will attain mastery. With all of this will come fame. And with fame, we will start getting work. And with work, our mastery will further increase because experience helps us to apply knowledge. Sometimes to get work, we might have to take some monetary cuts. In other words, take for instance the legal profession. There we find that certain juniors, they spend number of years with a senior advocate. 10 years, 15 years. It is just to gain mastery. Those junior advocates will not be well paid. But after finishing 10 or 15 years of senior advocates, those juniors also become exceptional. And then what they earn post, say, 15th year, that is seen to be believed. So let's focus more and more on gaining experience. This is the SOP I try to follow. So we have a situation where there is information explosion. Every day, the amount of information that we get on WhatsApp, it is equivalent to centuries old Vedas. How do we declutter everything? And that requires focus. So in other words, what I try to do is, instead of focusing on WhatsApp, I have formed discussion groups, or I'm a part of certain discussion groups. These are informal discussion groups of like-minded chartered accountants, where we meet on a monthly basis. And that is where M stands for monthly. So these discussion groups are focused discussion groups, where the chartered accountants, they ask queries basis the client situations that they are handling. And then each one of us try to pull in knowledge, and we try to find solutions to those questions. Sometimes a member of the discussion group offers to take up presentation on a technical subject. Say, for instance, in the last meeting that I attended, we had a presentation on GST reforms 2.0. And these are meetings that are usually for half a day. But we religiously meet on a monthly basis. And these are not meetings over Zoom or over Google, but these are in-person meetings so as to make them more effective. I have also found ICAI study circles to be extremely useful. I do make it a point to attend ICAI study circles on a monthly basis. Some of us perhaps may attend ICAI study circles with a view to gain those CPRs. But then there is a reason why ICAI is insisting that we have a minimum number of CPRs. It is to make sure that we are gaining knowledge and we're not getting left behind. Similarly, I try to attend seminars at least once in a quarter. That helps me not only to learn from the speakers, but helps me to network amongst a wider group of CA professionals. And believe me or not, after every seminar I attend, I feel that I am a cockroach or a frog in the well. I don't know anything. But that again gives me the fire to learn and to grow. I try to view a business channel daily. So pick out a business channel. It may be CNBC, it may be ET Now, but please make sure that we are viewing business channels every day. There's a huge amount of information available on YouTube, including the ICAI channels, whether it may be the central council or it may be the regional councils. So do surf the YouTube on a weekly basis and pick out videos where you genuinely believe you will be able to derive value. So this is all a part of CN here. Read. Again, make it a point to read at least one business newspaper every day. It may be Economic Times, maybe Business Standard. Huge amount of information is available in business newspapers. It is difficult to read the entirety like in a day, but we have our chosen topics. Once we do that every day, we'll be able to master the speed as well. ICAI Journal, the amount of topics and the breadth of topics that ICAI Journal covers is seen to be believed. Please do make it a point, but at least I do make it a point to read ICAI Journal on a monthly basis. I've already mentioned that let's write articles in ICAI Journal. At least I have decided that I am going to write articles in ICAI Journal once every 6 months. LinkedIn is again a great way to share our knowledge. By writing, as we discussed earlier, our knowledge is going to increase. So use this platform to the maximum extent possible. It will build your brand as well. Again, there is nothing like sending client updates. Do share client updates, and in the process, lot of knowledge gets built up. Coming to books, in fact, I wrote the book on international tax only because I felt that I wanted to learn the subject. And that is how I wrote the book. And now the book has become so popular that we find that tax authorities and tax tribunal members also are referring to that book. But the genesis of that book was because I wanted to learn the subject of international tax. But there is nothing like speaking. If you want to truly learn and grow in stature, then it is essential to speak as well. And that is where, as I mentioned earlier, ICI offers forums for chartered accountants to take up speaking engagements. At least once in a year, let's try to address industry associations also. For instance, immediately after the budget, there are various industry associations that reach out to chartered accountants. There is nobody like a chartered accountant to give a holistic perspective of the budget, whether it is economic impact, whether it is amendments for direct tax, indirect tax, if there are changes happening in regulations. I don't think there is anyone better placed than a chartered accountant to address industry associations. Again, do share if it is possible, do make out videos and put it up on YouTube. It will help us to evolve. This is the most talked about subject now, importance of AI. Now, personally, I believe that we should not be a slave of AI. AI is an aid, but it cannot substitute our knowledge. So I have often seen some of my colleagues, they rely upon AI to interpret judgments. It is very painful to read long judgments. And that is where some of us use AI so as to get short summaries. But that is not going to help us. It may just help us to gain information. But if you want true knowledge, then it is important to read judgments from start to finish, including the arguments which are canvassed by both sides. Once we read arguments which are canvassed by both sides, we will realize and will appreciate why the judge decided in a particular way. I have found that AI can be used to find relevant information. For instance, I was searching for something on data privacy. So AI helped me to lay my hands on the relevant information. But I cannot rely upon AI to convert that information into knowledge. Again, knowledge without ethics and values is useless. Take, for instance, Ravan. Immense knowledge, but he was let down by ethics and values. Now, it is important for us to apply knowledge, and that is where experience is critical. True expertise, in my view, can only be gained by applying our knowledge. If we aren't able to apply knowledge, then knowledge is useless. In fact, we are aware of the episode in Mahabharata where Karan was unable to apply his knowledge when he needed it the most. So it is imperative for us that knowledge is applied and used in the right direction. To conclude, in my view, knowledge is power, and sharing knowledge is key to that power. With this, I've finished my presentation. I will now hand it over to the organizer.
Thank you, sir. So, Madhukar sir, do you have something to ask?
Are there any other questions? Of course, I have some small things to add.
No, no, sir, not yet.
Okay. So first of all, I should, it is a good revision of how knowledge should be, added by Nilesh ji. In fact, this 10,000 hours which is there reminds me of an instance when I was which was 35 years back, I had gone to the tribunal in Chennai. And my thinking was that I know quite a lot of central excise in those days. And I was just introduced by another person from Bangalore to Arvind Datar. Arvind Datar is a famed advocate, constitutional law advocate now, but he was also in indirect taxes earlier, central excise, service tax and all. He'd written a beautiful book also. So I remember that was the first time, 35 years back, he said, if you want to become good in any subject, 10,000 hours. Of course, I don't think I spent 10,000 hours, but I certainly spent around 5,000 hours to get the procedures in central excise. Because nobody was spending time in central excise procedures, I became a perceived expert. Nileshji calls me an expert, but I am, let me tell you, I am very clear. I am no expert in anything. But getting perceived to be an expert, being able to solve 90-95% of the queries which people have. And when you don't know, go back, read and tell. Nobody feels bad about it. You don't have to, try to just get by giving an incorrect answer. That you should never do. One or two things which Nilesh ji said also have been a success mantra for me. The question about training people properly so that work can be delegated. Because the moment you delegate work, you release time for your reading, for your skill development. And that pyramid which he showed us, which was Edgar's pyramid, where one point was very clear, you can read as much as you want, but unless you do it, you don't get the real feel. He also talked about advocates. Nilesh ji, my partner, one of my most knowledgeable partners presently has been working under an advocate, a senior advocate. 6 months, he has taken off. No work, no clientele involvement at all. He has left it to his juniors, and he is already with the court. So his idea is to go to the Supreme Court. So he is with a senior. 6 months sabbatical he has taken. So what you say is really true. Another point which is there about knowledge, we see so many irrelevant things. Now, I hear a lot of good things, but sometimes I'm a bit lazy. But I know there are people now in my walking group in my place. There's a 75-year-old who reads the New York Times for 1 hour. Every day he reads the New York Times. I keep telling him I am going to start someday, but I have not started. So thank you so much, Nilesh ji, for vital inputs. And this lecture will be, since it's going to be preserved, many people will be able to, access it. And you have to only give us permission that in case somebody comes back to the committee, we will forward that query to you. You may have to answer them. This is, of course, applicable to everybody, not only you.
Thank you, sir. Now we will be moving on towards the next half of the session. So our next eminent speaker is CA Abhijit Sansgiri, who will deliberate on the thought-provoking theme, Finding Your Purpose, What It Means and When to Seek It. CA Abhijit Sansgiri is both chartered accountant and a law graduate with over 36 experience of association with the profession. For more than 25 years, he has been a sought-after speaker, having deliberated over 650 professional seminars across the diverse platforms. He serves as the National Treasurer of the Professional Speakers Association of India and is also a co-founder of a Bloom World, a unique initiative that has successfully conducted over 267 non-stop talk shows every Sunday. Known for his ability to connect, inspire, and transform perspectives, CA Sansgiri brings a wealth of wisdom and life experience Today, he will help us to reflect on how one can discover, define, and pursue their true purpose. Let's welcome CA Abhijit sir. Sir, over to you. You are muted, sir.
Thank you. Pleasure and privilege always to share my experiences. I would say no one is an expert because we are all lifelong learners, continuously evolving in the journey of towards excellence. We can't be excellent or experts, as I say, lifelong learners. So let's dwell on this topic of purpose and what it means and when to seek it. So, what do you actually mean by purpose? It's the reason or the why behind doing something. It's either our intent that guides our decisions and actions. It's the reason behind a goal, an objective, an achievement, or a target. An art of being determined, being focused. As was discussed in the previous session, the art of being knowledgeable, gaining mastery. And it's all about directing our behavior to give us clarity and focus. And when you connect your passion with your skills and you contribute by your value add, then magic can really happen. In life, if you know what you want to know really well, then things will happen. And while it may be a new normal to some, it could be magical or miraculous to others. So have a clear focus, have a clear direction. You are doing it, the why. As we go into the root cause analysis in any audits, the why of doing something, why we do, is paramount. So please reflect, please introspect, please pause to look back as to why we are doing something. And it's an ongoing journey. While the basic foundation or the overarching pillar would be the same, it's a destination we have to consistently follow over time. And what matters to us most. And there are three aspects or three quotes which I could give to the purpose of life. And the first, the purpose of life is to lead a life of purpose. The purpose of life is to be happy, to be fulfilled, and to be loved. And the purpose of life is to use your skills and your talents to the fullest to be of service to humanity. And I would go at the start of my career long back when I decided to be a chartered accountant. So at the time itself of enrolling for the CA exams, your purpose should be very clear. Why am I going to be a chartered accountant? And the focus, like we had a great example from the Mahabharata when Arjun was hitting the target, was focused only on the eye. The purpose, the focus is very clear, is to work hard and smart, both while studying or while doing your articleship. The purpose is to clear the exam. So a student has a single-minded purpose at that time of clearing the exams. When one becomes a chartered accountant, the moment one becomes a chartered accountant, he's a member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And one becoming a chartered accountant, he's, as we say, a partner in nation building. He's someone who takes pride in his service over personal gain. And that's the broad ethos on which every chartered accountant should function, is the pride of service before personal gain. And we have our motto song always, which is played before any seminar which happens. Esh tu supte jagriti. The one who's awake when others are sleeping. And we are bound by our code of ethics. And that ethics is the real purpose for every chartered accountant, is to be ethical. And when one looks at the 5 principles of ethics, the primary principle of competency, it's all about knowledge. And we're moving from data to information to knowledge to the practical application of knowledge, which I call wisdom. We are moving from hindsight to insights, and we use our insights to move to foresights. And that's competency. Competency is the deep experience over that subject matter, the niche, as we can call, and specific is terrific. Just go, as they say, 1 inch wide and 1 mile deep, and just go on asking why, go to the fundamental, the core of the subject. And if you can teach the subject to a layman, then you've mastered the subject. So competency is the key, a core value for any chartered accountant. The second is the credibility. And the credibility comes from the competency. But apart from the competency, it comes from another core value, which is integrity, which is honesty, which is trust, which is rapport. So your competency, credibility, and integrity, the core values, again embedded with confidentiality, objectivity, no assumptions, no biases, no prejudices. And then it's also the professional behavior. How you behave, not just with your clients, but also in your society. How do you own reputation, as well as you enhance the image of the profession as a whole. So our 5 core principles of ethics, the code, which is like a Bible to us, and which all of us should swear, and we swear, is the guiding light of our purpose. And when I say pride of service before personal gain, a professional social responsibility. When you say CSR, it's our PSR, that you be socially responsible. The responsibility is the response plus the ability. The ability comes from the competency. It's from the skills. And You could have various skills, right? From adaptability and flexibility, collaboration. And we are not living in an era of competition. We are living in an era of collaboration where we all cooperate to co-create and co-elevate each other. Creativity, critical thinking, and continuous learning. Decision making, digital awareness in those times is paramount. And then you have your emotional intelligence, the self-awareness, the self-acceptance, the response, not the reaction, and the ethical compass, which is one which glues everything together. Skills of leadership, skills of organization, skills of problem solving, skills of resilience, skills of team building, self-awareness, time management, curiosity, and all the personal values of discipline, determination, dedication, courage, consistency, clarity will all lead to a value add based on personal values. And when we leave a life of purpose, it's all about what is the legacy you're living. What is the perception that people carry about you? And you can also relate it to a brand building exercise. So you can ask as an exercise this question to your juniors, to your peers, to your friends, to your family, to your clients. The 5 varieties, and you can ask them one question. What's the one personal and what one professional value that you would associate with me? And as we've seen, the known, there's something which I know, but there's something which I don't know, which others know about me. So perception at times trumps reality. So your perception, which others carry, should also match with how you are projecting and presenting to the world. So going ahead, at a very shallow level, purpose will all be about the name, the fame, the health, the wealth, and the relationships. It could also be about work-life balance, and we now call it the tech-life balance. It's also about not being sad. And when I mean sad, it's not being stressed, not being anxious, and not being depressed. And it's not looking at what's in it for me. It's looking at what is in it for others, what is in it for them. How can I solve their pain point? How can I solve their problems? How can I, as I use another acronym, hurt mad? How can I be helpful, useful, and relevant with trust to make a difference? And this is where, when we talk of skills, skills are something our competencies, abilities, our knowledge, and our experiences, which we acquire through our education, learning, and training. And we say it's 10,000 hours which we have spent. And in our times, before the new education policy came in, we spent 10 years in school. And those 10 years in school, the 10,000 hours we've spent on the basic foundation of reading, writing, and arithmetic. And as a chartered accountant, our flair, our monopoly, our numbers, it's something like we have a photographic, magnetic memory about numbers. Sign something and we know what's the pad, what's the ratios, everything is because of the skills which we learned. The reading what's relevant. We've read through our study materials. We knew what was important and we knew how to write correctly in our examinations to get the right marks to clear our exams. So we used our talents to develop our skills. And these are the skills. And those were the basic skills. We kept on learning skills as we grew. And communication, the greatest skill in the planet, because we all communicating all the time to motivate, to inspire, to persuade, to negotiate. Repetition is the mother of all skills. We keep on practicing, we keep on rehearsing. And purpose starts with P. And there are 5 P's if you could put in an arc. Or as I would say, we all talk about the audit quality maturity curve, the purpose maturity curve. So one is the projection. The projection is the ideal scenario where one would always like to be. Leave a legacy, transform lives, impact people, make a difference, transcend. And there have been books written, Die Empty, Who Will Cry When You Die? What would people say on your grave? So the projection, the ideal, the optimum. But do I have the potential to match my projection? And where would that potential come from? I have the potential. Everyone has the potential. Everyone is abundance. Everyone has the Hanuman within. He just doesn't know how abundant he is. He doesn't know if he uses his growth mindset, how powerful he could be. So from your potential, which is based on your projection, you go to your practice. And when you practice, you upskill, you reskill, you learn, you unlearn, you relearn. And that's what you do to finally perform. And when you perform, these are your actions. And that actions based on your thoughts, based on your beliefs, which consistently done become your behavior and habit. And when that's done with credibility and competency, with objectivity, and with your professional behavior and integrity, then that's what leads to the perception also. So this is where at the purpose level, your projection, your potential, your practice, your performance, and your perception aligns. And when this alignment is there, basically, this is when you are fulfilled, you are at peace, you feel you've done something. If you're good, it's impossible to fail. The good is the enemy of the great. And when we say pride of service before personal gain, its money will always come as a byproduct of quality service. And if you're really good, you don't lose clients, clients lose you. So what's the ethos you have in life? And I think our founders who would have written this sentence, pride of service before personal gain, it's so profound. If you just focus and reflect on that sentence, I think your professional purpose is sorted out. So who am I? If this question is asked to you, are you the title in your organization, or a partner, the founder partner, or your qualifications, a chartered accountant, a lawyer, and what not degrees? So are you your degrees? Are you your experiences? Are you your hobbies? Are you your contacts, your families? Who are you? And if we look at it spiritually, we are all in a journey from life to death. And as we age, I think this reality of life hits us hard. So the time you are here, when you're actually a physical body with a spiritual soul, the unique you, when I say unique, it's YOUNIQUE. The unique you is all about your soul, all about your spirit. And what are you doing in this temporary phase of life to leave something, to bring a smile on someone's face, to be a selfless giver, to use your talents, skills to the optimal to help humanity. And I'll again come back to the three purposes of life. The purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. The purpose of life is to be happy, fulfilled, and to love, and maybe be loved. And the purpose of life is to use our skills and talents to the fullest to optimally benefit humanity. So deeply reflect, pause on what's the purpose. Now, for many, the purpose does not come overnight. It's a journey when we keep on discovering people. And as chartered accountants, we do a lot of things. We inform our clients, we at times educate our clients. We may explain, we may persuade, we may motivate, we may inspire, we may solve their problems. So there is a professional purpose. And there's also a self-related purpose. A self-related purpose obviously is earn money ethically. Then there is a transcendent purpose. What am I doing? As I said, to be remembered even if I'm no longer there physically. Or what is the remembrance? What are the memories? What are the pleasant, sweet memories that I carry about myself? That I always continue to remain in the hearts and the minds of all of the people whom I impacted. Then you have an organizational purpose. What is the core of existence for an organization? And any organization or an individual will have its vision and a mission statement. And organizations exist to make profits, but as I say, ethical profits. That's why an element of CSR, an element of ESG is embedded as a core operational, organizational endeavor everywhere. Purpose also can be related to impact, the outcome, the result. How does it benefit? And does it reduce the pains? And it could be a compliance problem you would be solving. It could be an operational risk you will be solving. Anything, everything, sometimes, anytime, every time can go wrong. So as a chartered accountant who's a risk management expert, with my predictive analytical skills, am I helpful to forecast what could go wrong so that organization can proactively anticipate what could be the emerging risks which can disrupt? And disruption is a new normal. Change is the new constant. So how could I disrupt disruptions before disruptions disrupt me? So while from a very broad objective of HERT-MAD, which I would say of being helpful, useful, and relevant with trust to make a difference, which could be a broad overriding purpose, as I say that, like I say, an organization has a vision statement and what could be the mission within the vision, and then how could I break it into goals? And when all these goals, the targets, the objectives are linked to my overall overarching purpose in life, then everything falls in space. Everything falls in place. And have we done our Ikigai? And Ikigai can be a great purpose of life. And it's a great book which I believe most of us would have read, but if you've not read, you should definitely read it. So what are we good at? And do we really like or love doing? So what are we good at? What do we really like doing? And do we like doing what we are good at? And do we do what we like doing and we are good at, and for which there is a demand for that service? And we're enjoying ourselves when we serve selflessly to help, support, guide, mentor, coach. We can be masterminds, we can be accountability partners, and we can be both professionally and personally be a person of values to add value. So, what's the Ikigai? And when I follow the Ikigai of my life, then I work efficiently and effectively. I implement, I execute, and I'm engaged. If you do a survey of people who are actually working, let's say, 10 hours, what are they really optimally working at? And various surveys have shown that people don't even work 40% of the time they actually say they're spending. And there would be various theories on how you divide your daily life, the 24 hours you get. And some may say the 8-8-8 cycle. I would put it differently as a 10-8-6 cycle. So the 10 hours you work hard and smart, you work engaged, you work effectively, efficiently, productively. Then you need 8 hours of sound sleep. And the 6 hours you spend on your family, friends, your health, your hobbies, your hygiene. You spend on nourishing your spirit and soul, and you keep on smiling. You be joyous, you be calm, you be peaceful. So how do you divide your life? And whether people follow a 5-day week, a 6-day week, the 5 days, generally I would spend it in the 10-8-6 cycle. And the 10 cycle of work would be my study time, my learning, unlearning, relearning, upskilling, reskilling time on a Saturday. And on a Sunday, it would be complete family time to relax, to refresh, to recharge, to rejuvenate. So thank God it's Monday, that I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful that I've been given an opportunity to use my talents and skills so that I could be of help to the society at large. And purpose. At many times it's interlinked with meaning. Meaning means a sense of resolve. It's determination. Meaning is a word, a concept, a phrase, an idiom, or an action. And meaning makes something significant. When there is a meaning and I do something, it's because it's significant and it is of significance to me. And meaning is having value. And purpose is creating something of value. Meaning is in the now. Purpose is futuristic. Your purpose will build the tomorrow, what you would potentially visualize or actualize based on your actions. And purpose is the inner calling, while meaning gives the reason for the inner calling to create that value. And purpose is that you dedicate your life to a cause that's larger than yourself. And in this country, we've been blessed with various leaders who had a purpose. And right from Mahatma Gandhi, various other freedom fighters whom we had, who as late as recent as Shri Abdul Kalam ji, the Honorable Prime Minister, each has a definite purpose. And that's the purpose which keeps them going, which keeps them moving, which just makes them lose track of time. And it's not that they are not managing the time. It's the ikigai, what they're so loving what they do, that they don't even feel the pain of doing something. There is no effort. It comes so effortlessly. And at times, when you give an advice to a client in about 2 minutes by just looking at things, it looks so simple. But behind that 2-minute advice is the 20 hours, 20 years which you've drilled in making a better version of yourself every day. And if you just be a 1% better version of you every day, as you bloom, de-risk and compound in life, just imagine the compounding number which Einstein called compounding as the 8th wonder in the world. So if your purpose is to be a better version of yourself every day, and just that 1% compounding growth every day, maybe in the next 25 years, just imagine, and it could be unimaginable what you would be. So just reflect, just introspect. Have you known the purpose of your life? Are you responsibly acting in sync with that purpose? And it's all about your response and your ability. And whenever you respond, you pause, you reflect, you introspect. And there's a 40-70 rule. Also, you may at times use the Eisenhower matrix, the importance versus urgency. But the 40-70 rule says that if you don't have 40% of the information to take a decision, don't take a decision. And if you have 70%, don't wait to get to 100%, because at a lot of times we overthink, and the quest for perfection is the result of procrastination. And the gap is not in the knowing, the gap is in the doing. And many times we delay things because we wait for the perfect moment. There's no perfect moment than the now, if you are prepared. Success, they say, is when opportunity meets preparedness. So are you prepared to seize the moment when it comes? We said of dying empty. Have you given everything you had during the lifetime? Or as they say, the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because there lie people. If they've not used their talents or potential, then that was what was wasted. So give it all in your lifetime. Give the purpose of leaving a legacy to transform, to transcend, that you are remembered for your selfless service. And there is always the universal mantra that what goes around comes around. You give so you can receive. And as you give, you open the energy, you open the doors to receive yourself. And the life goes, as they say, a full circle. What will come back or what will go back, that will always come back and go back. So audit the why of your life, why you are here, and how you could make a difference, and how you could use your passion, your values, create the vision of value. And what are your strengths? Play to your strengths. Know your strengths, get it validated. Leverage your strengths. Experiment, explore, evolve, get feedbacks. And that's how you would grow as a professional. As you grow, you can use your knowledge and skills to support, help, guide, mentor, coach. And the service to others is what would be the rent you would pay for your time that you spend on the planet. And we've already talked of professional social responsibility and our ethics. And I have an acronym for ethics. And these acronyms was the way we studied NRCA exams. If there was something we wanted to note, we used to make acronyms, and that's the skill which has been carried forward by practice. So E stands for ethics is everyone's responsibility. T stands for trust and transparency, which is non-negotiable. H is the honesty, which is the best policy. I is the integrity, which is absolutely non-negotiable. The C is the courage to stand by your conviction, to call a spade a spade. And S is stand up, speak up for what you truly believe in. So that's ethics. E, ethics is for everyone. T, trust and transparency are non-negotiable. Honesty is the best policy. We all know that. We've learned that. School. I stands for integrity. C is the courage of conviction to do the S, which is the stand up and speak up for your rights. So, as partners in nation building, as someone who prides in service before personal gain, and that's the ethos. So, are we using our independence? And we have a whole lot of standards of auditing, and now we have the standards of internal audit also, which have been introduced, the quality standards which have come in, and all of these standards enforce our competency, which will enforce our credibility. So the 5 founding principles of ethics, again, are our cornerstone of what we do. And as a professional, you may be competent, but you need to be humble, you need to be grateful, you need to be grounded. The attitude, the appearance, and as I say, the qualities of being rare. To respect others, to appreciate others, to recognize others, and to empower others. Rare, respect, appreciate, recognize, and empower others. What are your beliefs? What are your value systems? Do you have clarity so that you are crisp and concise as well as comprehensive? The D's of discipline, determination, dedication, so that you are committed, you promise and you deliver, you promise, you over-deliver, you over-promise and you over-deliver. The point is, you exceed expectations. As there is a corporate bell curve, you far exceed expectations all the time. Customer delight, that's something which maybe you sit in the hospitality industry, but as a professional, have I ever thought what's the experience I'm giving my clients? It will be all about the energy, enthusiasm, and the empathy you have for your clients, the focus, the fairness, the grace, the gratitude, and the honesty and the humility. And gratitude. I think, are we grateful for what life has given us? And there's a very profound saying, I cried for I had no shoes until I saw a man with no feet. And when we crib, whether we are rich enough, I believe everyone is as rich as his necessities. And no one is as rich to take care of his luxuries. And the great Mahatma Gandhi had always said, there is enough in the world for everyone's needs, but not for everyone's greed. And what we see, the debacles which happen, is the greed which leads to one of the main causes for frauds, which is a very pertinent issue which we all as professionals deal with. So gratitude is what it turns what we have into enough. It's the gratitude which really makes us happy. It's gratitude which makes the difference in our attitude. And gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions. And let gratitude be the habit of the heart, and let it turn pain into acceptance, your chaos into order, and confusion to clarity. And as we have an audit quality maturity model, maybe at CMIP, we could do a life purpose maturity model somewhere on similar grounds. And are we happy, fulfilled, joyous, satisfied? Do we have no hate, jealousy, envy, ego? Why are we here? What needs to be done? When, where, and how? Are we the rare breed who respects, appreciates, recognizes, and empowers everyone, including our colleagues and our juniors? And as I say, the purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. The purpose of life is to be happy, to love, and to be loved. And the purpose of life is to use our skills and talents to the fullest to be of use to humanity. And as a parting thought, my mentor had given me 3 valuable quotes. 1, repetition is the mother of all skills. Communication is the greatest skill on the planet. And proximity to quality masterminds, to mentors, is the real power. And that's where our study circles, our meetings like this will be forums where we could all learn and grow. As we say, we are not living in an era of competition. We're living in an era of cooperation and collaboration, where we all come together to connect. And that connection is the key to co-create and co-elevate. And finally, our best is yet to come. Thank you. Any questions? Any thoughts?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are having questions.
Yeah.
The first one is how to present the relevant points on any topic in a given time frame.
So, as I say, practice. Repetition is the mother of all skills. I belong to an organization called Professional Speakers Organization, and our ethos is, if you don't respect time, time will not respect you. So we're very conscious of the time, and we thought to have one eye on the watch. If we go to speak, if it's late, we ask permission whether I can speak for my normal time or I end at the same time. And this is a training, because the moment we exceed our time in the short practice sessions we do in our community, we are bodily lifted out of stage. So that's something we're conditioned to stick to time. And it's what we say is, it's not return on investment, it's a return on time invested. And we're mindful of the time, because time is something which the audience has given you. That's the precious moment of their life which will never come back. So you got to be mindful. What is in it for them? What's the message you are leaving for them? What is it, that sticky moment, what you're saying, what makes you memorable, what makes you remembered. So it's all about, you just can't go all over the place. It's all about 3 simple messages you leave. Maybe you connect them with stories, you connect them with humor, you connect them with emotions. It's how you present, how you package, how you position is what it's all about.
Okay, sir. Second one is, does knowledge make us expert without having experience in the area?
See, knowledge is still bookish. Knowledge, which was earlier at a premium, now with artificial intelligence, at the click of a prompt, knowledge is universal. And as I say, the gap is not in the knowing, the gap is in the doing. So, do we really do what we know? And do we do it effectively, efficiently, and proactively? So it's the implementation which is the key. And that implementation is, yes, they say failures are stepping stones to success, but at certain points of time, you got to be right first time. As this, the TQMs, the Six Sigmas of the world. So at times life will not give you another option. So whenever there is an opportunity, you need to be prepared. So yes, experience is the best teachers you would learn, but that's where in our profession, that's where we have the internships, where there is an opportunity given for you to learn and make mistakes and bounce forward from it. It's not bounce back, you bounce forward from it. So knowledge, yes. Experience, yes, but also have the skill sets and be very clear to do it right first time. Do the
All
right
right.
things right.
All right, sir. This is the last one. People's selfishness has become a hurdle for sharing of knowledge with the juniors in a forum. The expertise remains limited as experts are not coming forward to share their experience.
So I always believe that the more you give, the more you receive. And whenever there is an opportunity to share something, so let's say I'm speaking here, I would make a presentation because it's needed. Maybe I can speak impromptu or with the flow in a conversational style. But you prepare for something, and as you keep on speaking and learning it, not only you're passing on whatever your perspective, and I would say my perspective, each one has his unique perspective which would be right. It's I get my fundamentals also cleared. So I just don't know why people should not be afraid of sharing their knowledge, because the more you share, you create people who will reach to your level. So there is a pressure on you to go up. Otherwise, you will be stuck at your own level of incompetency. And you reach at times to your own level of incompetency because you have not been pushed enough or challenged enough.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Madhukar, sir, do you have something to say?
Yeah. I do have.
Mm.
So thank you, Abhijit, for a very, very detailed, coverage.
Thank you.
Some important aspects which Sansgiri has talked about are that if we have a purpose in life, then there is a lot of energy. And thanks to that, following professional ethics, we can grow and become very successful. What I got in the first few slides. Very importantly, today hindsight is of no use for anybody. And also, basic knowledge is available, as he said, at the click of a button. It is insights which are important. And very, very important, clients are no longer interested in your insights to a great extent. Now they are asking you for foresight. Tell me what will happen tomorrow. Because till insight, ChatGPT and Perplexity is providing him some information. As far as the purpose is concerned, my own experience in my life, which I've shared earlier, is that up to the age of around 40, I didn't have really any purpose. I vaguely wanted to be better off. I wanted people to respect me. I wanted to have enough money. But it's all vague goals, wishes more. But then I got my purpose when I crossed 40, 42, after a lot of soul searching, what Abhijit has talked about, reflection. But the amazing thing was, once I got this purpose, then till I reached those goals, it was smooth sailing. Some of it took 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, but it just kept on happening. For example, at the age of 42, when I had 5 assistants, I thought of creating 50 leaders, ended up creating 500 leaders. At that age, I thought of taking care of 50 economically challenged children. Today, we cover 5,000 children in our office. I thought of changing the indirect tax laws of the country, contributing to transforming the indirect tax laws of the country. To some extent, it happened when GST came, but then after that, nothing much has happened. And my contribution has been very minimal. But the point which is very important is the goal set at 42, almost 90% were achieved. Then when I had a partnership, bigger partnership, then joint goals were made, joint purpose. Very important that the firm was aligned to a higher purpose beyond the firm, beyond the partners of the firm. And then I retired. Then I had a purpose at that time. What should I do now? Now that I'm no longer in the firm, what should I do? So this purpose is linked to the energy, to your satisfaction, to your happiness. So I think this session, especially the last slide, is of great use to be reflected again and again. Anyway, we are sharing all this. Priyanshu is sharing this on the CMP site. You all could at any point of time go through that. And thank you, Abhijit Shalsgiri. And thanks, Priyanshu.
Thank you, sir. So we have come to the end of this
I
session.
think Nilesh ji, आपका एक question था यहाँ.
Yeah.
One question was there for you. If you can ask it, Priyanshu, Nilesh can answer.
Yeah, how to present the relevant points on the topic in the given time frame.
No.
There has been
No. One more was there, no? What is the other question?
Does knowledge make us expert without having experience in that area?
This is the question
Yes,
for Nilesh
yes.
ji. Yes.
no. So with knowledge, so like knowledge by itself is not sufficient. What is what is a must is knowledge plus experience, and that is where Madhukar sir spoke about one of his partners who has taken a sabbatical in a way for 6 months to work with a senior advocate to gain experience, and this experience is a cutting edge experience of litigation. So his partner has all the knowledge, but it is important to get experience also. So,
Yes.
in my opinion, experience is a must. But to get experience, we should also have knowledge.
Correct. Yeah. You, I think, told it properly. Just to highlight this partner who has taken a sabbatical, he almost earned 1 crore rupees. And still he took off for 6 months, which means he's going to earn 50 lakhs less this year.
Absolutely.
But still he feels it's worth it because whatever way.
Absolutely. It requires a lot of courage to do so.
No, he has done this in the past also.
As there is a lot of purpose also in whatever he has done. This also shows the purpose.
Correct. I think Abhijit, you will agree.
Yes.
Okay, Priyanshu.
All right, then. We've come to the end of this session today. So, dear participants, for today's deliberations will enrich us with both professional insights and personal inspirations. So we thank our distinguished speakers, CA Nilesh Modi ji and CA Abhijit Shalsgiri ji, and our respected chairman, C.A. Madhukar Hirigange sir, and of course, each one of you for your active presence. Yes, sir.
I think in every session, you
Yes.
need to give in the last feedback, method.
Yes,
So
yes,
you could possibly next time you
yes.
could have a small slide on how
Hmm.
they can give the feedback, some link so that they
Sure.
can go there, click and give the feedback on the,
Sure.
because I am sure Nilesh ji or Sansgiri ji would like to know where all they can improve. So
Yeah.
we miss out on
Yes.
that if we don't get feedback.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, this time they can send it.
Yeah, I'll share this with our participants. We value your feedback, and below the screen, you can see a feedback link which you can click and submit your feedback towards us for these for every of the webinar which we are conducting on every Monday. So I would request our members to please give your feedback, and this would help us to rise more and where to follow up and where to uh, give our best and learn
It's
more.
also a way of returning. Each of the speakers are coming here. We are not paying them anything out of their love for the institute, out of their need to share. They come, they spend, and not only come, they would have possibly spent 10 to 20 hours in preparing for this session. So the least we can do as people who are listening, we can give a very honest feedback, because that is the value addition we can give back to the speakers. And as far as the committee is concerned, you can give any feedback. You can even tell us what is the subject which you want us to cover next. We have got around 50 subjects already in the line, but we can add yours. Yours may be much more important than and relevant than what we are talking about. So please add value back to us through the feedback, and have a wonderful week.
Thank you, sir. And with that, let's begin the journey of bringing the mindset, bridging the mindset gap. Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.